body, girl, it look like whoa. Body up, up, down, body don't need no toe. When I do something so you only God, they know. Broke out, make the whole world know. World know. Let's bring that. See your body, girl, it look like whoa. Body no pop down, body don't need no toe. When I do something so you only God, they know. Broke out, make the whole world know. Do something so you only God, they know. Broke out, make the body no pop down, body. See your body, girl, it look like whoa. Body no pop down, body don't need no toe. When I do something so you only God, you know. Block out.
I've always been one of those, like, I prefer being complete as a player, so I don't like ignoring a role. I've been around esports for a long time. I've done a lot of stuff to try and encourage it. Like my first esports tournament was in 1998. To see Belong doing this kind of thing, to have it in a city and have a company get behind and finally push it out for anybody to come in and play. Like, it's not like the guys here are all like, amazing players the moment they walk in. Some of them play once a week or once a month, or a couple of them have never played before when they come in. Come in for community night, pick up a team, they're hooked. That's it, right? I love it. I'm really, really proud to take part of it, to be honest. This is mostly grassroots, right? But the thing that's coming out of it, which is really cool for me, as much as it's like a bit beyond my level now, but teams like Stratford and a couple of other teams at the real top of Championship Overwatch. Can't speak for the other leagues as much because I haven't watched them, but I know some of them are getting there as well. But specifically Stratford and a couple of other teams are really getting like semi-pro, pro level gameplay, and it's really, really cool to see that coming out of a grassroots tournament. It means they smash us when they play us, but just to watch them go against the other big teams, it's like watching United and City go against each other. It's really cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Two Tired Boys Talk About Rocket League, aka the Belong Arena Clash. Final week for the Rocket League tournament. I am the Eternal J. Joining me is Digital Bacon. My man, I always said I'm tired. How are you doing today?
I'm actually, pretty tired. Been sorting out a lot of stuff for upcoming weekend with Rocket League events going on there. So it's like nice now because we get to de-stress a bit. I've loved every single week so far of league play. It's all got to come to an end. Unfortunately, we get a break off next week and then we get into the playoffs. Before that, we have got 2 games lined up today, Jay, that are looking very, very spicy because we get to see a little battle of the bottom. The first match coming up is going to be the Stratford Spartans versus the Bristol Smugglers, and then of course afterwards we get to see Nottingham Arrows versus Norfolk Nighthawks. But a little glimpse into this one here, Jay. Bristol Smugglers versus Stratford Spartans. Stratford Spartans not having the season we expected, really, were we?
Yeah, no, I mean, when we take a look at the tables in a little bit, you'll see that the Stratford Spartans have not had the successful sort of line of form, and in spite of their sort of like, their stance and the way that they sort of played out this whole season, they got Cheeky Lad in there, and he was expected to have a decent run, former Insomnia champion and everything, but right now they're sitting at 0-3 on that table, so it's not been the best of seasons for some of the teams. We certainly consider them to be a contention for the top end of the table, but in the end, it's sort of it's sort of not gone well for them, I don't think, so far.
No, definitely. So I'm going to be looking pretty good in that London Lionhearts t-shirt towards the playoff point. You, unfortunately, not. But this is a team that we could see a lot of improvement over the next season. Because you've got to remember, this was the first time they were playing together. But looking towards some other teams, Claymores, not the first time playing together. They have done pretty good to get up into a safe spot to follow Pirates into playoffs. They're already locked in there. Unfortunately for Vikings, Claymores beat them. And so in Group 1, that is how it is going to finish. Pirates and Claymores already going into 2 weeks' time into the playoffs, Jay.
Yeah, meanwhile, over in Group 2, the London Lionhearts, your boys, certainly going well at this one. Undefeated at 4 wins and 0 losses. The Kingston Harriers, the next team down at 3 wins and 1 loss, but both teams playing the 4 games overall. And Humber Hunters struggling a little bit to get themselves into decent position. Maybe if the Harriers lost their final match, then there might be a chance for Hunters to take over, but in the end, the game difference is still massive. So for the Harriers, they're at a pretty decent advantage. London Lionhearts, however, 100% locked in for the playoffs.
Yeah, good for them. And of course, looking towards Group 3, the Enigmas and Steelers up the top there. Brilliant season already coming out from the Enigmas, and they're going to be going through to land. And I do believe there is a little fight going on, of course, for the Steelers to try and secure that second spot. It's been a good one. Unfortunately for Tyneside Guardians, their fate is not in their hands this week. It is coming down to Steelers versus Saints.
Indeed it is. And meanwhile, over in Group 4, we've got the Arrows and Centurions leading the charge right now. 3 wins to no losses for the Nottingham Arrows, but 3 wins to 1 loss for the Colchester Centurions. So still a little bit of breathing room overall in that one, with Norfolk Nighthawks kind of still falling back by a single series right now. If Centurions do end up losing that one, then there's potential again for them to try and take that second place position. So there's still there's a couple of teams locked in already. There's still a little bit of moving room, there's a little bit of breathing room for some of the second place teams as well. So we'll have to keep our eyes on how things roll over the course of this week. For now, though, yeah, just those 2 matches that we get to see, starting with Bristol Smugglers and Stratford Spartans. 2 teams that are yet to get victories on the board here, Bacon. It's not quite been the best of seasons for them.
Well, the problem is, when we look towards Group B, it was the group of death. We stared this in week 1, didn't we, Jay? Where essentially, looking at all those teams, Lionhearts, Harriers, Hunters, and even Spartans, those 4 teams we could have expected to make through to playoffs. So the unfortunate point is that Bristol Smugglers, they've got a good side on their hands, like with very high diamonds as well as some champ players and mixed in there. It was just unfortunate that they got placed into this group. It's how seeding sort of works, isn't it, at the end of the day? And so this is going to be one where they've learned. And we can see they've taken a couple of games off here and there. So they're not the worst group ever. If Stratford Spartans, unfortunately, haven't had the great season, it could be down to a chemistry issue where maybe Bristol Smugglers could show them a little bit of a comeuppance there.
Well, let's see if they can try to pull it off here with the opening couple of strikes coming in for the Stratford Spartans. Nice passing play between all 3 players from the midfield to the backboard. 2 of the strikers are first on the board.
Yeah, nice little off the backboard, like you said, Cheeky. Just being able to pick that up off Musty. Musty, a brilliant setup for him there off of the sideboard to essentially just give him that free reign on net.
A nice start again for the Spartans, the exact thing that they need to get things started. I think they kind of have always had the confidence sort of opening goals on their part over the course of their season, but so far not being able to lead to any victories, and small mistakes like that could end up being the main issue there. Cheeky Lad having to clear that back to the orange corner rather than cutting it off at the midfield. He will be able to take overall control, challenge the first player, try to flick back against the second. Good challenge again from the next man here with the Bristol Smugglers. It's Dayrider busking, leaves it all for Ryan to go for the shot. It's not going to happen for him. Satnav also here with a block down in towards the box. It will be followed up by Cheeky Lad again, the main man of the roster. They get to the backboard, no secondary touches. Satnav should be able to take control again, bouncing it off the sideboard into the midfield. He will control it past 2 of the defenders. Not quite the third, though. Actually, that's a very good touch, but no one there in the corner to try and drive it home.
Lots of spirit coming out from Satnav there. He definitely knows the way to try and get into our hearts. Unfortunately, it's not been the best of the season, but you can see this lad has got a lot of potential, and it would be great to see him grow, of course. Problem is, he's now in defense. Tiramisu doing a brilliant, tasty job. Satnav just going wide in that one, though, Jay.
And Tiramisu not responding, not going to try to go for the strike, expecting a teammate to come forward. And the team play hasn't always been great from Stratford Spartans this season, so not too out of the ordinary for this one, but certainly will still hurt them regardless. 3 minutes and 30 left to go, and it's only a goal difference for the Spartan side. Musty going to try and see if we can change that. Nice knockdown, but it's off the crossbar. And Cheeky Lad will be able to pick up the 100 boost in the back corner, able to pass back to a teammate and try follow through off this passing play of his own right. Second touch, dunk down, leave it for a teammate for the third final strike, and it will come through from Tiramisu. He will get the second for the Spartans.
Yeah, tasty little dessert, that one. Great little hit here from Cheeky Lad to get the second touch out to center, and this was just beautiful from Tiramisu. Defenders expecting it to go to the right. Naturally, Tiramisu just basically pulling out a 200 IQ play, puts it behind them to the left. No help in getting that one. Super hard to reach.
Ball back into the corner, Cheeky Lad. Loads of boost again, stealing from the back line. Goes for a great shot. If only it was a little bit wide of the marker, then maybe that could have been a goal in. A third one for the Stratford Spartans. Tiramisu, they'll take control once again into the midfield. That ball is heading over to the orange half, though. Good interception, and Dayrider will turn it back over to the corner. In the end, bounce back over. Secondary touch. Ooh, this could be a great receive, but he's going to put it high, and that allows just enough breathing room for Cheeky Lad to get back in and get the defense, clear it back out towards the midfield, eventually to the blue half. He continues to hold the defensive so well rotating and so well read on his part.
Yeah, there's just not enough pressure really there coming out from the Smugglers, Jay. You'll notice it where they'll send one ball towards net, but there's not the follow-up hit coming through. Just a little bit of the improvement needed there. Get a little bit more ferocious, and you will definitely be able to get that ball on some striking attempts. I'm liking what we're seeing from Bristol Smugglers. There's just a few little, not mistakes as such, but more play styles that need to get picked up from. You can definitely see these lads are of a lower skill level, but the foundations are all there.
Stratford Spartans happy to exploit that factor and try get a third on the board. Musty with a great fake out. Tiramisu can then go for the strike. Cheeky lad here with a good challenge. Not going to allow that fake to come in from the Bristol Smugglers. No ball control established by the blue side of the court. Musty passes back into Cheeky lad. Gets himself off the sideboard. Tees it once. Trying to go for the flip reset, but a little bit out of control and a bit too far away from the board. Tiramisu will come back in and pass up towards him as he still holds his presence in the blue offensive. Satnav with barely a defensive, and Musty couldn't go for the strike of his own right. Too far wide of the right-hand side. So no third for the Spartans, although Cheeky lad demos out. Might open up the gap here for Tiramisu. No second player there to respond. Musty was just going to challenge and keep the pressure going for the Spartans. That's all he really needs to do at this point.
Nice little touch there as well to put that to the side. Ryan knocking that towards the center, but Dayrider, good clutch in defense to keep that out. It was a scrambled defense, but the eggs, they're not overcooked just yet, Jay.
Not quite, although they are getting a little bit dangerous here. Ball dropped in front of the waterfall. Musty here for the another dunk down shot opportunity. Tiramisu also coming forward and double commit from Satnav, and Ryan will be able to get it out of the way. But again, Spartans happy just to keep the pressure going. 60 seconds left and they would have won this first game in our best of 5. Demos in from Dayrider, takes it over to the corner as Ryan comes back up and over. Challenged again by Tiramisu into the mid-center. Bounce over to the right-hand corner. At this stage, all they really need to do is just keep that pressure going again. They don't even need to get another goal in. 37 seconds, and Bristol Smugglers have struggled to break out of their own half. They need a goal right now. That's an open net for Musty. Demo in from Dayrider will be able to take him out of the action, but very quickly return. Big miss from Ryan, and that will definitely secure game 1.
At least the Bristol Smugglers get a moment to breathe now. For the last minute and a half, they have just been under attack. It's been a barrage, an absolute siege coming out from the Stratford Spartans, not giving the Bristol Smugglers even a second to breathe. It's been a good result, though. Like, looking at the ranks, looking at everything on paper, this could have been a lot wider score margin. It's all coming down to Bristol Smugglers actually having a decent amount of communication in defense. That's not necessarily their problem. It's the breaking out aspect and going in on the attack. Come on! We've got a consolation goal coming out from the Satnav himself. He's found the way to net.
Yeah, but only 1 goal scored, 12 seconds to score 2 more, Bacon. It's not impossible, but it's certainly difficult. They've got to get some decent kickoffs as well against the Stratford Spartans. All they have to do is make sure this ball stays out of the orange half, and they would have secured this one. Satnav with a great kickoff here, and Dayrider back off to the backboard. Second touch, going to get touched out by Cheeky lad, and that should about be enough here for the defensive, keeping it in the corner. Ryan will try to dribble it up, but he's just not got enough time for this one. Bounce back off the backboard. Musty will take it away. And there you go. Time has run out. It's all expired, and game 1 will be going to the favour of the Stratford Spartans. They're pretty confident and pretty bolstered affair, in my opinion.
Yeah, and one that, again, we were expecting. Like I said, on paper, this should be an easy 3-0 for the Spartans. The difference just being, though, Bristol Smugglers, like I said, their defense, they can hold out. They're definitely covering the angles, and you'll notice the Stratford Spartans really have to work off that backboard to beat out the Smugglers. And they don't seem to, well, the Spartans don't seem to have chemistry locked down, which is a very interesting, because normally when we look towards Cheeky lad as a captain role, he can get teams to work together quite well. It's a bit like what we were expecting from Rafa, of course. And it just seems to not have clicked this season. Maybe the Spartans not being able to get enough time together to practice and warm up for this season, as they've been put through a trial by fire in this group, and unfortunately the fire seems to have burnt them a little bit, but you can still see the class from them. But Bristol Smugglers somehow being able to sneak their way in this one off the black market, it seems. 3 goals.
Double commit, and couldn't get the second touch on the part of the kickoff, and that's going to be the opening goal. Not bad at all here. 5 seconds into the match so far, and it has been a nice start here by the Smugglers. Stratford Spartans trying to take control and try and get it back out of their own half, but you can see the pressure now is really starting to ramp up on the blue side of the field. Tiramisu will be able to get it back down to the blue half of the field. Eventually good 50-50 second touch. That's very dangerous, but no one there to punish, no one there to capitalize on the setup here for the Stratford Spartans. Cheeky Lad also here for the dunk down opportunity. We'll go back too high on the part of Musty, and Cheeky Lad one more time to the backboard. Second opportunity. There you go. Musty will score and will equalize.
Yeah, and again, this was another onslaught coming out from the Spartans. You see that hit after hit towards net. Defenders, of course, having to jump for it. Not being able to get every single time, but it's just this ultimate pressure and the speed that the Spartans have, where it might look a little bit sloppy in attack, but where they are just naturally faster, more mechanically gifted players. Ooh, nice attempt from Satnav, of course. They're able to just keep it going, Jay.
Yeah, and the pressure once again starting to get very dangerous on the part of the Stratford Spartans. They have just continued the passing plays back and forth between each other, all into the blue half. Very few interceptions allowed on the part of the Bristol Smokers. Cheeky Lad. Oh, right. Struggling to find the words to talk about the defense. I struggle to find the words about that offense. What a second touch from the man.
Lad must have broken ankle in that one. Jesus, throwing his leg completely out there to be able to get it in. Just by reactions, guys at home can definitely know that is a very unexpected goal, but from the looks of it, he planned it entirely and just completely threw that one out of the blue. Again, showing the caliber of the Stratford Spartans side.
Musty going to try to see if he can replicate here off the back of the lead. Tiramisu trying to pass back towards him. Big miss from Ryan, but Satnav will come in. Bounce back, up and over. Chance available for Cheeky Lad over to Musty. Again, takes it to the ceiling. Tiramisu there with an open chance, and they're going to double commit to it, but Cheeky Lad ends up with another goal here. 3-1 for the Stratford Spartans, and although Bristol Smugglers had a nice, decent start, it's all but crumbled.
Yeah, beautiful build up there. Cheeky Lad probably overexerted himself too much. If we're realistically going to have a go at anything, he should have been going back and left that, of course, for Tiramisu. But he's on fire. He's hungry for these goals, and he really wants to show off. He's got a couple on the board already, and he wants to extend that lead himself.
Ball into the midfield one more time. The Stratford Spartans working in and around. Good passing from Musty to Cheeky Lad, and the team play looking extremely good right now for the boys over on the Spartans side. Good passing. Oh, wow. Talk about beautiful solo plays from the Stratford Spartans. How about a beautiful passing play from Dayrider to Ryan. 2-3 back on the board.
Literally given to Ryan on a silver plate. Dayrider just absolutely hammering that ball to him. Being able to get the redirect. Incredible. There is no word that can do that really justice, so we'll have to deal with incredible for that one.
Now Dayrider going to try and follow through again with a secondary goal. Tiramisu put over back to the blue back ball, followed up by Musty. Hanging back in over to Cheeky Lad's position. He's going to go a little bit too far, but Tiramisu can keep it into the corner for the moment. As Ryan takes control, Tiramisu will be able to challenge with a demo. Back in Cheeky Lad once again, bouncing back off the ceiling to the backboard. Musty bouncing up Ryan. Oh, what a defense held from him, with Cheeky Lad inches away from getting the fourth goal and really putting the pressure back in against Bristol Smugglers to score another equaliser. 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock, halfway through game 2. And right now the Spartans do lead, but the Bristol Smugglers putting up a hell of a fight right now.
Notice as well, the defense coming out from Bristol Smugglers is getting better as time goes on. Oh, but there is no way you can defend against this. This was a wrecking ball coming into net, Jay.
Yeah, nicely done from Tiramisu to control the ball in off the crossbar, and Cheeky Lad there with a secondary follow-up. Again, those passing plays, those standard styles. With Stratford Spartans a 2-goal lead once again here, and 2 minutes on the clock as Musty goes for another great shot that is just about blocked off by the Smugglers back line. Good. Ryan also there in the net, seeing the bumps coming through. And Ashby eventually have to challenge as the Stratford Spartans quick to recover. Ball in, is that on target? Just about is. Musty will be able to get it back away from Cheeky Lad. Bumping against him, that could be dangerous, but Tiramisu is there to respond. Ryan also there with another good touch, and Cheeky Lad just gets back in time to hold the defensive. They are leaving those nets a little bit too open for my liking. They are able to rotate in time, so it's not the worst situation in the world, but Bristol Smugglers, a lot of exploit opportunities available for them.
Yeah, the net's being left open purely because they're trying to pick up the pace. pace. And so worrying about defense, where he slow you down. So that's why you're seeing that open up, Jay, here. I can't blame them right now. Picking up a pace has actually helped Bristol Smugglers a little bit out.
Cheeky Lad bounce back off the backboard. Musty control in. Ryan will be able to challenge him. Tiramisu also there. Touch back in towards the centre line. This could be an opportunity, but Cheeky Lad then again there for the reset rotation defensive. And follows through. That could be great, but it's not quite indeed. Very good bait could have come through, but not to be. 60 seconds left on the clock. Ball back off to the backboard. Big miss again. Dayraider can't quite get the shot that he needs. We'll go back off the backboard, doing a decent enough job. Tiramisu follows over towards Musty, and they try to get it back over to the orange offensive.
Oh, beautiful stuff as well. Musty not going to be able to get that one to net, unfortunately, due to the defense. A big turnaround. Oh, no! What a save!
35 seconds and Bristol Smugglers keep the play going. Cheeky Lad will try and hold it into the corner. 30 seconds left on the clock, and a good another follow-up from the Bristol Smugglers. Couldn't quite get it back into the orange net. Cheeky Lad again following through here towards the orange corner, and the clear away will come through from Satnav. Follow-up shot could come out, but Tiramisu able to block it, and Cheeky Lad there to receive in the midfield. It's going to be a challenge, but this time there's no second player to go in for the shot. Follow through from Satnav, cleared away by Cheeky Lad. 6 seconds left as he follows it all the way in. Musty there for a little bit more control, flicks it past them, goes in for the 5th goal. It's not quite going to happen, but Spartans with a very impressive defensive game and offensive game will be able to hold off some serious players in the Bristol Smugglers.
What a game. So much fun to be able to watch that one, of course. Bristol really turning it up, of course, in the response to the Spartans turning it up. And again, showing that rank isn't what it's all about. It's all just about getting that teamwork together. When you're on LAN and you can start talking together, of course, in those arenas, you can really pull out some exceptional stuff. And I just love the Smugglers' approach to, you know what, let's all just charge in like wild balls or whatever. And it seemed to work, really putting the Spartans into a sweaty situation. I hope they've got towels there in the arena, otherwise it could be getting messy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's certainly sweating things out over in the back line. Keep your eyes on the Spartans if they have to get the pressure put on towards them again. As Musty follows over here towards the kickoff for the Spartans side. It's ball into the backboard. Tiramisu leaving it for Cheeky Lad. Can control him, but no boost. We can only take it so far. Trying to challenge in against the likes of Satnav. Will keep it over in the corner for the moment. Cheeky Lad again back to the backboard to the centre line. Dunk down for Musty. Will have to go wide to the right-hand side. So no goals in just yet, but once again, ball up, Musty over. Tiramisu there for a follow-up shot, and we'll challenge against Ryan, so not too bad here for the moment for the Spartans. Again, great offensive being played up, but good defensive from Smugglers, and some of these challenges looking very dangerous on their part.
Yeah, and notice how the Spartans now are having to go high. Oh, no.
Oh.
You hate to see it, Jay.
Yeah,
like this.
That's unlucky. Very unlucky there. I mean, Dayraider had the right idea, but it wasn't. It just wasn't to be. Unfortunately, like, yeah, too far into the net. And there you go. First on the ball for Stratford Spartans. Not even thanks to their own plays, but thanks to a major mistake on the Bristol back line. It's the ball in and over. Pass out to the corner. Again, Cheeky Lad will be there with 12 points of boost, and he makes the shot happen. Oh, what a defense held down by the Bristol Smugglers. Rotations looking perfect from both sides at the moment. In Game 3, they are looking to impress us all.
They are indeed. What can Musty do with this as well? He's keeping it under his control. Quite nice, being able to line up Tiramisu high of net. And defense, it took 2 players, and we will hound them for the double commit, but at least they're keeping it away. You can definitely see Bristol, as this series has gone on, has just learnt leaps and bounds. This has been fantastic for them as a learning experience.
Ryan up here, Cheeky Lad able to get it away from contention, but Satnav here to redirect it back off the backboard, leaving for the third man to come forward, but he's nowhere to be seen. Both the Smugglers players that remain going back to their own half to pick up boost. Tiramisu demos out. Oh, what a save to the backboard, and now Dayraider can break away. Tiramisu trying to pass back to Cheeky Lad, a bit of a dangerous pull, but no punishment is going to be taken. I see that, and Satnav comes in out of nowhere for a good shot and a 1-1.
Absolutely done and dunked on that one. Satnav with the read of his life, being able to see the exit of that ball and stopping it in its tracks. An interception, if I've ever seen one, to get a goal. Again, Bristol Smugglers. They're like some sort of Super Saiyans. Every time Musty, he's not the one known for the flick, but he's got a couple of tricks of his own.
Wow, absolutely beautiful ball control from Musty to get it in at the top of the goal. 2-1 on the board for Stratford Spartans. Just as Bristol Smugglers come in and strike, it's just not going to happen for them. No opportunity to take the lead. Spartans, with every little bit of control that they can possibly muster, is all coming up to fruition here in what could be the final game of our first series, especially if Cheeky gets this strike on target. It's going to get, say, a very last line.
Now, I'm going to slightly go bias caster mode in this one, Jay, because I want this game to go to game 5. That's it. Every single game has just got slightly better, and it started off on a good caliber as well. So come on, Bristol, give us a game 5. Oh! Ooh.
Now the team play starting to come up to fruition here with the Stratford Spartans at half-time. Satnav leaving it for Ryan, but Ryan hesitating. Musty passes over the Tiramisu as a result. Great ball control past the first, but Ryan finally comes forward, and now Day Rider has got to try and strike. Demo's in, gets it off the backboard. Cheeky Lad with his own ball control. You just cannot get it past this man. A slow ball, you have to try and see if you can take him out of the play as he passes in Musty. Great block there from Day Rider, and he will be able to clear it out of position just about for the moment here. 2 minutes still left to go, however. And things aren't looking amazing here for the Smugglers. Again, the pressure coming in from the Stratford Spartans and going to keep them at bay with no real chance to clear it out of their half.
Bold move here in front of net as well. And oh, that's the breakaway! It's going to be wide of net, but look at Satnav. He's trying to ready up, and of course, now you're going to have the lads coming in. Dayrod not able to get onto that. Whew. This has not been an easy affair at all for the Spartans.
Absolutely not. Blocks just about coming through again. Quick rotations. Just barely holding on against the counter-attacks coming in from the Bristol Smugglers. But again, the pressure also coming in from the Spartans has been struggled to be dealt with here. Backboard plays. Satnav will clear it out. I think they've overcommitted to this one. Indeed, Cheeky Lad will get back, just about put it off and disrupt the ball's path, which will be enough to hold the defensive here for the Spartans. Clear
oh, no.
No one's in net, though. No, Day Rider will get back just in time and keep the ball out of contention here for the Spartans. Clear away over to the midfield. Musty will be there to receive it. But he stalls for a few extra seconds with Bristol Smugglers to get themselves into position. Unless Musty goes ahead and does that and proves his ball control worth again.
He's been trying to pull these off, and it's only in game 3 where he's really been able to show off, and I love the little ballerina 12s from there, just to add the extra style points on, Jay.
3-1, Stratford Spartans. 2 goals in the lead once again, and 60 seconds left on the clock. As Ryan comes up, bounces back to the sideboard. Ooh, awkward touch there from the first line of the offensive here for the Stratford Spartans. They can clear it away. Musty, however, too far wide of the left-hand side. Unfortunately for the Smugglers, it will go out of contention, but a double commit. Oh, what a block from Satnav. What is up with this defense today? Cheeky Lad will not put it in again as Day Rider comes up with a save of his own. Right, Satnav's out of position, but Day Rider's still there in the back line, keeps it under contention as Cheeky Lad bounces into Musty. Big miss from him, and now a breakaway chance for Satnav. It's all going to be left to Tiramisu as he goes for the ball control. Good tap in, but Tiramisu reads it well, and Cheeky Lad will just hold his presence in the midfield. 15 seconds, Bristol Smugglers need a goal and a kickoff, and this ball is dangerously going in front of their own net. Tiramisu with a great tee off and a 4th on the board for the Spartans. They're going to take this in 3-0 fashion, but this is not the easiest affair, certainly for the Spartans. I don't think that 3-0 retells the true story of this series.
I mean, at any rate, here's been the most enjoyable 3-0 sweep I think I have ever casted, Jay.
Oh, yeah.
This has been a series to really Beckham Watt, and I love it with his goal because I'll continue the point. To Beckham Watt, the Blanc Arena clashes. Some friends turned up to Arena each week, been able to have a solidly great competition. And here, you got to remember, Spartans are all GCs. They're all grand champs in the game. Bristol Smugglers, their highest player is champ 2. The other 2 are diamond 3s, Jay. And even here, with that massive rank difference, we're talking hundreds of points in skill points in game. They're coming toe-to-toe, head-to-head, and looking good whilst doing it. This is really what the Arena Clash is all about.
And in the end, the Spartans will be the ones to take that series again. A very tough affair for them in 3-0 fashion, but First victory on the board for the Spartans at long last, Bacon. I have to admit, I'm a little bit happy about that one myself.
Of course you're happy. You finally can actually, your team won. It's like, don't get me wrong, I feel it heavily because I'm a QPR fan myself, so I definitely get that, of course. So you just want even the slightest victories but looking at Bristol Smugglers, what a game from them. And it definitely shows, like, again, this has been the group of death. So them coming out bottom, it was expected from the start. But looking at some of the results, they definitely have earned, like, great results going through. And I've been looking at the game differentials. I mean, it's all been 3-0s for them, unfortunately. But the goals they've been getting in those games, they have nearly been able to eke out wins. And it's just been unfortunate for them, because if Bristol Smugglers were, let's just say, in Group 4, in Group D, maybe they could have got a couple of games there. It's just unfortunate how seedings stack up sometimes, isn't it, in tournaments?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to change much in the grand scale of that group. Obviously, Stratford Spartans will not be making it into that top 2, so unlucky for them. But, still showing a little bit of boldness. I still think there's a couple things to work on for that team. I don't think it was the most amazing Rocket League. Certainly for both sides, there were some punishments that weren't committed towards. Shikilat was very clearly the standout man for the moment of the Stratford Spartans. So, certainly want to look forward to more good things from him out of this team if they do decide to stick together. But for now, I think we're going to head over to a small break, Bacon, as we get set up for our second match of the day. So make sure you stick with us here for the Long Arena Clash, as our second and final match of the group stage will continue after this. Welcome back to the Belong Arena Clash. We're into our second and final series of the regular group stage season. I'm the Eternal Dre. Joining me is Digital Bacon to walk us through this final match that we have for the Vine people at home.
Yeah, so coming up next, we've got the Nottingham Arrows going up against Norfolk Nighthawks. The battle of the ends. I'm trying to think, not really the Midlands, what with Norfolk, but hey, let's continue on with that. Aussie, McLovin, Doppler, and Delta Bacon. We saw them last week, Jay, and they had an absolute stormer of time. Norfolk Nighthawks, we haven't been able to see yet, but we've got Sick to Death, Spinks, Willie McBilly, and JDM Tom. Now, I've already said it, Willie McBilly is my favorite player name I think I've ever seen.
Absolutely. I must say, yes, this is some top quality memeage we've got in the server today. But, you know, talking about sort of the way things have worked up for the Nottingham Arrows, they've had a really, really good season so far. Currently 3-0, possibly up to 4-0 on the perfect group stage. The only one that stands in between them is the Norfolk Nighthawks. And this is a really cool sort of matchup as well, because if the Norfolk Nighthawks do end up sort of upsetting, then they put themselves on perfectly even standing for Nottingham Arrows. So that means that will be a three-way tie for this group, which is why this matchup is particularly interesting.
So bad they want it.
Let's see if it will happen. It's the Arrows in the blue side, Nighthawks over on orange as Doppler looks for the opening goal, trying to pass into Delta Bacon, but will not be able to get the goal in here. Instead, Doppler going to try for a secondary strike, and it will be a defence coming out with the Norfolk Nighthawks for this moment here. The ball out over to the midfield. It will be taken away by the Norfolk boys. So it gets over to the other end of the field for the moment.
Yeah, just expect this one to start off a little bit slow. We've definitely seen from the Nottingham Arrows before that they're a team that play very smart. You know, these are all uni lads. They go to university together, so we've seen them on the university scene. They're super strong there. They play very smart. They adjust their opponents. They essentially get a read of what they like to do and then build up a strong strategy. That's a nice little double touch shadow play coming through there, actually. You don't see too much of it. And of course, we're seeing Delta Bacon back in the roster. The super sub, essentially, Jay, where they've been trying him out, seeing who he works well with, you know, in case they do have to bring that sub into play. It's been a very smart choice by Nottingham Arrows, and we could definitely see them come out and win it all, essentially, with this great mindset and attitude they're bringing to us.
Doppler with the control out here. We're trying to hold the midfield control. In the end, the demo will come through on the part of the Nottingham Arrows as Doppler continues the ball control. Pass into his teammate. That almost worked out for McLovin here, but not a Bacon. There for the follow-up return here. McLovin tries to bounce back over into the midfield. Doppler will come forward. Returned over by one of the Norfolk Nighthawk boys and not quite getting it right in, but a good couple of touches will be able to get it close to the marker. Nottingham Arrows there with a great defensive, and so far no early goals being scored. A bit touch and go from both sides, I feel like here. A couple of good opportunities available for Nottingham Arrows, a couple less for the Norfolk Nighthawks, as once again this ball goes back off the orange backboard. No one there to clear it, and that's McLovin with a perfect shot, a perfect angle, and a perfect goal.
Brilliant setup as well, coming in into Doppler, of course. He bounced it up high off of that backboard. Two players go up, and I'm going to bring it down to Belong 14, who is sick to death. That's his player name, you know, not... well, he's probably sick to death of that goal, we'll say. But where he's jumped up for it, he's not able to adjust himself for the follow-up, and that's just easy peasy for McLovin to put into the net there, Jay.
Ball out towards that blue half. McLovin's going to have to try and adjust alongside Doppler and Delta Bacon. Good receive, good fake, big miss, but no punishment from the right-hand player. McLovin will try pass back into the box. Good interception, have a good challenge once again. It's ball in for Delta Bacon. He's trying to challenge the next man here in towards that midfield. It will be played out here. Spix tries to find his angle. Eventually sick to death will turn it over. Try to go for the dribble play. Dunk down chance. Now he goes back off the backboard. And it will not go in for the Norfolk Nighthawks at the half-time marker. Still at 1-0. Trying to make it 2-0 on the part of Delta Bacon. Very dangerous ball. Backboard plays will have to be forced out from McLovin. Couldn't position his car correctly. Could not dunk it down. We'll have to take it high. Now Doppler here with a chance. Again is going to get challenged by the back line.
Yeah, and this was an interesting one because coming into the season, we didn't expect a massive amount from Norfolk Nighthawks, Jay. When the rankings were all taken for the players and that, everyone on Norfolk Nighthawks were unranked. Essentially, they hadn't played the game probably in a while. But we look from their results through the season, they've definitely just been a couple of old players that saw Rocket League was coming up in the Arena Clash and thought, you know what, let's re-pick up this game. And they've been putting in a great season. Like I said, a win here against the Arrows would actually put them in a three-way tie for top spot, and then that's what next week's all basically about. It's an off week to sort those out. Oh! Delta Bacon not able to get one. A flyby coming in from Doppler, and a good recovery coming out from McLovin here to put the pressure on and allow his teammates to get back in time.
If Delta Bacon hadn't gone for that shot, if he just waited and left it for, then it would have been a ball on target as well. So a big mistake coming in for the Nottingham Arrows offensive line. They have to rotate back to that defensive instead. They hold the midfield control. Doppler down to McLovin. Now, sick to death tries to challenge. It will be instead turned away over to the midfield. Doppler missing out. Well, actually, no. Spinks should be able to get that first touch back in, but a responsive Cook could come through, and in the end, it will be defended out by Sick to Death as he holds the back line once again, just down to the line, quite literally. In the case of the Norfolk Nighthawks, Nottingham Arrows are hunting for their second goal, and if they get it, they'll be looking likely to take the first game of the series.
Yeah, and I'm also liking how Nottingham Arrows are throwing Delta Bacon downfield quite a lot to essentially pick up that infamous cherry picker role, Jay, where essentially all he's doing is trying to bump around his opponents, make them worry a little bit, and then if the ball's loose, you know, big clears downfield, a little bit like this, he's able to pick up on it.
The ball in once again to the backboard. Nottingham Arrows will leave with Delta Bacon. Good play in towards McLovin, but it's not going to happen. 30 seconds as he continues to control. Cleared away off the backboard. Norfolk, excuse me. Backboard players coming through, trying to see if they can get those passing out willies here towards that corner. They will be held of their own right, but a return can come through. What a shot from Bacon, but it's not going to happen. The defensive will still come out from Sick to Death. 10 seconds left. Nottingham Arrows still have a decent chance to try and turn this around. Norfolk Nighthawks hold their own of their own right. Norfolk, my God. This is what happens when none of the players actually play with their actual names in the servers, boys. But first, we'll be on the board for the Nottingham Arrows. Good stuff being posted right here at this stage in the game.
Yeah, and look at that. Doppler as well pulling out the Fennec. Now, we saw him on it last week, and actually, that car is a little bit, I want to say, unassuming, because it's got the same hitbox as the Octane, but when you look at how it maps to the hitbox, it actually looks a lot nicer than the Octane, Jay. And so it's got a whole different feel about it. Just purely, it's a bit of a a placebo effect, but essentially it's just how you look at the hitbox. And a lot of people have said that the front flip sort of hits onto the car feel a lot more consistent purely because of how you look at the car. So we've definitely seen Doppler be able to put a lot of clears coming out, and it's all coming down to the hitbox of the car and essentially how it visualizes onto that 80 sort of rally car-esque vehicle.
Yeah, great defensive being posted up by the Norfolk Nighthawks, but an even better offensive bout by the Nottingham Arrows as once again they strike first with an opening goal on the board in just 8 seconds into this one. It's McLovin with another fantastic boom arrow right into the back of the net.
That's the way to come back into game 2, eh? Just literally at a goal. Oh. It was a beauty of one as well. Great little setup there with the passing play, and Doppler wants another. Jeez, that's unfair. Such a hard angle to read after it bounces off the ceiling here.
Yeah, nicely done. Very, very easy stuff there. As a big miss comes out from the backboard, and it will be a 2-0 in the first 15 seconds. Nottingham Arrows inserting their dominance here. Good stuff for the boys in blue. McLovin will be able to get another good kickoff as well as when he goes back to the backboard looking for his second touch. It will be taken away by Doppler instead. He goes in and over to the corner, follows up, not going to come out from the boys over from the Arrows. So the Nighthawks will come in. Aussie there, flip reset. We'll have to take it wide to the right-hand side. Actually, an awkward touch in his own right. Doppler out fakes it. McLovin comes in with a shot. Aussie's got to go back for boost, but no one's in the back line. It will fortunately be off the crossbar. So well read by Doppler, trying to get it back on target. We'll have to take it wide to the left-hand side again. And now from Nottingham Arrows there to respond. They get themselves on the backboard. McLovin trying to pass back to Doppler. Can't go for the redirect. They keep it in the orange half for the moment, but a couple of dangerous balls that Norfolk Nighthawks get a little bit lucky in terms of saving.
Yeah, and you got to think at the same time, everyone from Arrows is downfield, so this is a lot of aggression put on. But you just see a couple of players, especially Doppler, jump in to essentially put the ball out wide, a little bit like that, but right in front of their opponent's net. It's to give enough time for the players to get back into defense. Nottingham Arrows are being allowed to play their style, and even in situations like this, they're not being pressured too much. A little bit of a double commit, but Doppler calls off Aussie really well there.
Always got to get back as Nottingham Arrows try to get themselves into position. So McLovin in a challenge. Good shot will go high, and in the end it will be followed up once again. Oh, McLovin puts it out of the way. Not a good play. Doppler will still try to keep it on target. It will be blocked off by the Nighthawks boys. The Spinks gets themselves out of position. McLovin and Doppler play around each other. Again, it will be received by the Nighthawks. They play it out of that corner. It's Willie. So over to the midfield, Doppler trying to get a 100 boost in the end. It will be taken by the Nighthawks player. Doppler leaves it for the next man here for the Nottingham Arrows. A play in from McLovin, passes back over to Aussie. Both players getting caught up against each other in the Nighthawks. I believe that was Sick to Death and Spinks over in that midfield. McLovin goes up, 100 boost picked up, nice. Oh, too high again. Doppler tries to follow through, and that's just saved by Sick to Death on the part of the Arrows. Good stuff here from the Nighthawks, but they're still 2-0 down. They have to turn this defensive into a counter-attack because Nottingham Arrows have all the pressure and all the players, and it's only a matter of time before a third goal goes in at this stage.
RJ, at this point, I just wish, like, you know, we're in the observation, sort of in the spectator spots, so I could just tab out, see the number of shots put on from the Nottingham Arrows here, because it seems like you just keep throwing this ball at net, but nothing sticks. That's wide again! The lads are putting shot after shot on net, but nothing's actually hitting the mark. For me, this is a little bit worrying for the Arrows, because don't get me wrong, they're putting on a lot of pressure, but this has got to affect your mind, because a turnaround like this could get a bit dangerous if they don't pull up that stat.
Ball in for Willie once again, taking it down to the centre line and into the corner on the part of Spinks. No shot will be allowed for McLovin. Bit of a big miss from Aussie as it's actually put away by Spinks instead, and eventually the clear will come through from Sick to Death. Doppler already in the back line, passing up to Aussie. Good plays in over to McLovin. Oh, what a beautiful sequence. It's going to go high. Aussie's got to dunk it down. Perfectly done. What a great breakaway, and again, a fantastic passing play sequence from the Nottingham Arrows.
Yeah, and like you said, the breakaway was brilliant. It's set up with no one in net. You'll just see, oh, not on the replay, unfortunately, but the defender was making his way back to net there. And it's just all about that quick pace and the quick turnaround. They're giving themselves the open net, so they're able to shoot on target pretty safely. And you'll notice as well that by hitting it with the underside of his car, he slowed it down. It was a great secure. The demo is what secured it for this one, though.
Yeah, 4-0 Aussie over to the backboard. Demos in, as you say, and Doppler there. One final shot to put it right onto the 4-0. Nottingham Arrows looking confident here in the second game. The Norfolk Nighthawks probably going to be out of this one here. Going to have to go for the reverse sweep at this stage. Honestly, I'm not going to... I have my doubts about this one. Ooh, a couple of big misses, though. Doppler giving it out. McLovin takes it over to the corner. Doppler passes off to the backboard once again, going to try and look for a man down the centre line. McLovin will tee it off for a teammate. Doppler will come forward. Good challenge from the likes of Willie, but no points of boost. Can't go much further than this. Actually beats them. Oh, what a challenge! That was fantastic for the Nighthawks.
Yeah, and a great finish there from Sick to Death. You'll notice that Willie with great pop on up over. And then Sick to Death, I mean, it is a steal. We're not going to hold anything against him for that, because the caliber to just get that dodge as well, so close to the ground, is its own little skill as well. You got to think, robbing your teammates of goals, it takes effort, Jay.
And the Nighthawks certainly in contention here, but still a lot of work to be done as the ball bounces off the crossbar and goes it back down the other side. 5-1 on the board for the Nottingham Arrows as they look to put the final nail in the coffin on game 2.
That redirect coming out from McLovin, tasty.
48 seconds to get it even more tasty for the Nottingham Arrows. Again, great sequences being posted up by these boys. Demos in and everything. Doppler will be there for the defense. He's taking it off to the right-hand side, and we can't go for the redirect of his own right. As ball's up once again here for the Nighthawks. It's the Arrows. And they have the centre line. McLovin, no points to boost really. Will pass over to Aussie. A nice fast ball, surprisingly enough, but...
And that bounce did not favour him at all. Look, just straight down, almost like a clearance, a free clearance coming out for Norfolk. And I know those curves, they can be a bit of a harsh mistress at times there, Jay, where they don't go as expected.
10 seconds. Doppler back off the backboard. And that'll be about it for the Nighthawks. No real chance that they can score anything. Good redirect from Aussie just to put this 6-1 on the board. Brazil set up.
That's what I'm hoping. 1 second, this ball cannot be allowed to touch the ground. Nottingham, you have a challenge. Game on.
1 second to get a final goal in for the Arrow side. As they, McLovin actually leaves it, and they'll actually leave it to the floor.
Not like this.
No memes for the Arrows today. They are stone cold stoic, and they are happy to take the 2-0 at this stage. Look towards that match point, which they are one game away from taking right here, right now. Bit of an easy affair for them, unfortunately. You know, it looks a bit promising in the first game with only a single goal difference, but in the second one, it was just all the Nottingham Arrows at that point.
It really was. And again, we look at this, it's the massive pickup. Dale Bacon going back to his sub role as being benched, and they brought in Ozzy for that one. And you got to remember, McLovin, Ozzy, and Doppler are the main core trio. So, of course, they're going to be that bit stronger together. But it just shows the difference in level. Dale Bacon's been great to the side. I don't know what rank he is, because, again, a bit like the Norfolk side, when we took the rankings, the player levels, he was unranked at that point. But he's definitely, to me, probably a good Champ 2, Champ 3 level. He has been super solid. The difference just comes down to the chemistry of Nottingham Arrows, where they have known each other for well over a year and a half now or so, and they're just beautiful together. It's like a work of art on that pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, especially that three-man passing play is what looked really, really solid from them. That was probably one of the most beautiful plays I think we've seen in all of the Arena Clash so far. So let's have a look-see at our third and final game. Actually, no, we're going to be seeing the end of the second game. Yeah, not sure what happened there, but regardless, we should be getting that third game on the way in just a couple of moments' time. Obviously, it is match point for the boys over on the Blues side of the field, so they are just again 5 minutes away from taking this victory. So long as they can score at least one goal difference, and then they'll be absolutely fine for this one. Right now, it's looking like that might be the most likely case, Bacon.
Yeah, and I'm not going to be too fussed with that one, Jay, because I can actually smell dinner cooking downstairs. So a 3-0 sweep would not go amiss for me personally. But
do you know what? I have not eaten for a very long time, so I myself would absolutely love a decent amount of dinner.
Yeah, but looking at this Norfolk Nighthawks, we're probably expecting the Arrows to throw Delta Bacon back into the mix, dropping out either McLovin or Doppler. We'll see who there. But Nighthawks, that should give them a chance to be able to get back into the fold. Nottingham Arrows has now, after last week, swapped him in for every on-stream matchup. So it'll be interesting to see how they go about this. And Northern Nighthawks, if Delt Bacon does play, that is a slight glimmer of hope because, of course, from that first game, we saw that he is the weak link in the team. It's the sub. It's just natural to how it is. But Norfolk might be able to pick something there up if Nottingham Arrows don't work with so well with who they sub Delta Bacon in for, really. And that's all it's coming down to.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it is pretty elementary at this stage right now for these boys, and there might be an elementary finish as well. Again, looking very, very solid. We've had a lot of 3-0s over the course of the season, Bacon. I'm imagining it's a sort of a teething period for a lot of these teams. But going into the playoffs, though, we've seen a lot of potential from a lot of the teams that are in those top two. So I'm expecting that playoff bracket to be a very, very spicy one, I believe.
Oh yeah, I don't think we'll see a 3-0 in playoffs at all. Like, it's just that case of it's league play. It's how it all spreads out. Of course, like we said, down to seed, and that's just what it is. Going to playoffs in 2 weeks' time, where the top 8 teams, top 2 from each group, goes through and then has to fight on out to, of course, get to the finals at Insomnia at the end of next month, that is. I could see a lot of Game 5s from that coming out, and that makes me a happy boy.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, again, and that's what will be coming in your way in a couple of weeks' time when we do get to those playoffs in studio. Next week is our week off, basically, Bacon. So
that's where the tiebreaker is all sorted out, of course, among all the games and that, ain't it?
Yeah, something like that. So, you know, there's a little bit of a break for the players involved. But you know, again, you want to look forward to those playoffs because they're going to be looking very, very spicy indeed. But for now, you know, we still have to decide who the final team. Yeah, we will be in the studio indeed, yes, but we still have to decide who those final teams will be. Again, a lot riding on this final game. You know, Norfolk Nighthawks, if they are able to reverse sweep this, they will tie things up in the fourth group, and they will be at 3-1 alongside Colchester Centurions and, of course, the Nottingham Arrows, the team that they're facing off against right now. So there's a lot of weight on their shoulders right now here, I'd say, Bacon. As we get into our third game, it's about to get underway. Will it be another 3-0 sweep for the Nottingham Arrows to close out the group stage, or will Nighthawks put a little bit of potential on their board and try and go for broken the reverse sweep? It's a good start here for the Nighthawks as they go for the opening shot, but it will not be taken on target. It's Nottingham Arrows to return back over to the orange half of the field, try to get a couple of good shots, but in the end, no such things will go their way at this stage. I say that, and will be returned by the Nighthawks squad, so there you go. Shots coming through from both sides as Delta Bacon looks for another good shot. Ozzy there with a redirect opportunity is not going to happen on the part of him or his teammates. Sick to Death is going to be able to hold the defensive. Overall, Nottingham Arrows again, similar sort of stuff with the pressure coming through from those boys.
Yeah, but I will say from Nighthawks now, they're grouping up a lot closer. Oh, that's a nice little bang for clearance to really push it downfield. But not the Norfolk side are closing in, so they're going for some very close 1-2 shadow plays. And it is working because, of course, they'll go for the 50-50 the first player and be able to run away with the second. This, though, was just a massive oversight coming from the Arrows. They really should have not allowed this one to happen.
Yeah, absolutely not. This is a big, big misplay that allowed the likes of Sick to Death to get the opening goal here for the Nighthawks side of the Arrows. That's a bit uncharacteristic for their situation, you know, not quite the same sort of scenario as we've seen so far. It usually has been Arrows, the boys getting the opening goals and kind of running away with the series as a result. So Ozzy comes in over to the midfield, Doppler over, passing over to Ozzy. Oh no! Just when the promise was there, it all just crumbles to pieces. An own goal scored by Spinks. What a blunder that one was.
We'll say it was a nice goal by Spinks, though. Like, if it was down the opposite end of the pitch, we'd be absolutely raving about it. But, yeah, not what we want to see at this point. All their hard work is now for naught.
Nighthawks tries if they can return and try and make up for the mistakes that they've made here. Own goals aside, it's still going to be an effort and a half at 1-1 on the board, but Arrows are trying to change that. Look at Ozzy coming in towards the backboard. It will be a defence held back by Willie. And challenge again. Again is going to go towards the net. It will be defended off by the two boys and Spinks and Sick to Death. Still pressure coming in towards that box. Finally a clear and breakaway coming through. Ozzy will get back. It's time to put the ball's part out of position, but still Sick to Death will try work off the pressure into that corner. There's a ball in, bounces up. Doppler off the sideboard, and it will be taken away into the midfield here. But Delta Bacon will come up and over. And no points of boost. Can't carry it much further forward than this. We'll have to leave it for his teammates. And in the end, Nighthawks will hold the defensive down as a result. It's Doppler up over to the corner. 40 points of boost to his name. Backboard put off by the defense of the Nighthawks side. Big misses coming in from two players, a chance available, but Delta Bacon cannot go for the shot, and neither can Doppler. He has to take it over to the midfield once again, leaving for his teammates to rotate back in, because Nighthawks getting a couple of good breakaways, but no real pressure and no real shots on target, as now breakaway comes in from Doppler, and this time there's no one on that one. It's going to be a little bit wide, but it does go in. We're 2-1 on the board for the Nottingham Arrows.
Yeah, this was proper close to hitting into that post and then on out. You can definitely see the pace of the game has slowed down a little bit. This is down to the Nighthawks using that following play, going for those 50-50s. And Nottingham Arrows seeing that now are adjusting by putting the ball out wide. A lot of clearances coming out. Ooh, nearly a clearance that was able to get converted to a goal. It's just that change in play styles. Big up for Norfolk to be able to adjust themselves, but the Nottingham Arrows are adjusting as well, and they're trying to play a lot safer here, so probably not as exciting, but to be expected. A win's a win, and they want to 3-0 this.
Norfolk need a way out of this one. Held down, the clearaways will come through from Spinks as he goes right and past it in towards his teammate, and there you go, nice sequence from those two. 2-2 back on the board. Sick to Death for the overall goal, but a nice setup from Spinks. You cannot take that away from him.
No, you cannot. Brilliant little ball in as well, coming out from Spinks, like you said, just being able to get that touch, put it near enough right up on a plate for Sick to Death. Easy touch in. Now, getting in close like this really reduces the sort of skill level, the mechanical skill level, I mean. But the actual setup needs to be there. And of course, Norfolk are opening up avenues to be able to do that, whereas the Arrows on the opposite end are trying to play with a lot of space. So it's an interesting contrast in play styles right now.
Ball in towards that box, still getting, a very, very dangerous sort of style here from the Nighthawks, but it will work up to a counter-attack, cleared away by Delta Bacon and Ozzy. To go to the midfield, not a lot of boost for Mr. Bacon, but backboard plays into the corner, open chance for Ozzy. What an intercept, as the clear is not allowed on the part of the Norfolk Nighthawks. Arrows are going to retake the lead again, 1:19 to the victory for them.
Very cheeky. I like this one. I like that a lot. Gives me a grin.
I think a lot of people have to like that. It's very, very good stuff. Very, very well played on their part. The intercept from Ozzy really shutting down anything for the Nighthawks side. They return back to the blue box for a moment, but only for a moment. They have to try and outlast 1:10. Try and get a third back in, equalise at this stage. else their series will be for naught, and their chance at the playoffs will slip away from their grasp. It's dot plot up and over. Aussie bouncing, backboard play to the center line. It's not going to happen for the likes of Aussie. Delta Bacon comes in, 0 points to boost, can only challenge for the corner control. Some of the 100 boost in the back line. Willie tries to pass back over. It's passing over from a sick to Def. We'll leave it for Spinks. And Aussie again intercepts, can't get for the counter attack immediately though. It's going to be a couple seconds stalling, but Delta Bacon, nice open net, just taken away by the last line of defense.
Yeah, super unfortunate there. Ooh, good. Put off to the side from Aussie. He's going to be able to pinch it. That's a massive rocket downfield. Now you can see Norfolk Nighthawks are getting a little bit desperate. They're trying to charge that ball downfield, and that'll play right into the Arrows' hands. That's what they're used to, and where they're playing with a lot of space, they'll be able to just send that ball back down the defense into their opponent's end. Now Nighthawks, it's looking grim, Jay.
5 seconds, 1 goal to be scored here. The ball is up, control for the This Is Rocket League shot. Opportunity, but it's a little bit out of position for Willie. He's got to try and see if he can keep it alive. Goes out to the midfield, and Aussie will clear it right back down the other end of the field. It's a victory for the Nottingham Arrows as they go 3-0 in the perfect series and 4-0 in the perfect season for them. They top out the groups. They secure their spot in the playoffs alongside the boys from the Colchester Centurions.
Yep, and that's unfortunate. Nighthawks, if they had won there, like we said before, that would have been the freeway tiebreaker essentially needed for next week for Nottingham Arrows, Colchester Centurions and the Norfolk Nighthawks. So we've been denied that tiebreaker, Jay, but looking to some of the groups, we now have every team confirmed, of course, for the playoffs, bar Group 3. There's a tiebreaker time going off next week for that, as we have got the Tyneside Guardians, the Cardiff Saints and the Teesside Steelers all join on 2 wins apiece out of their 4 games. That's definitely a spicy one for next week off stream.
Indeed, yes. So you want to make sure you keep your eyes locked onto the belong.gg website for all the fixtures and all the results coming through from next week's matches. And of course, our playoffs starting in 2 weeks' time at the same place, at the same time, live from the Basingstoke studio, Bacon. It's going to be a very fun time, I think.
Yeah, it definitely is. And of course, if you want to rep your favorite team, of course, head on over the raven.gg where you can pick up your Belong Arena t-shirt and, well, not t-shirt, sorry, jersey. It's a proper player jersey. And start wearing that, repping your local Belong Arena, Jay.
Indeed, yes. We're going to have some set in the office. It's going to be quite funny. Anyways, so we're going to head off for another week here. Thank you very much for joining us today. And of course, across the entire season, we will see you back here in 2 weeks' time for even more of the playoffs action live from the Belong Arena Clash.